This is the Costa River on the coast of Alaska. It's late summer, and as we can see, the river is crowded with salmon. Thousands of salmon return from the ocean to mate, to lay their eggs, and to begin the next generation. Now, we all know that salmon begin their lives in rivers like this one, but there's much more to the story. Come on over here, I want to show you something. Okay, we're not far from the river here, but in this big open spot, we can see the whole valley of the Costa. And look how the river is nested in this giant natural amphitheater, surrounded by these steep, wild, heavily forested mountains. This is the watershed for the Costa River. And here we can see how the lives of salmon are intertwined with the place where they're born and grow. All year round on the coast of Alaska, saturated air sweeps in from the North Pacific. It's like the breath of the great ocean, constantly pouring up against the land. And it brings every imaginable form of moisture, clouds and fog, mist and drizzle, showers and downpours. And think of all this water dripping from the needles and boughs, trickling down the faces of rocks and tree trunks, flowing into the ponds and creeks and rivers. And it also seeps through the gravels and soil, through the intricate webs of roots, through the feathery carpets of moss. And this infuses the water with organic nutrients. It's also a massive natural filter that keeps the water clean. Also, because the Costa Valley is wild and pristine, the water's not clogged with sediments from human industries, it's not fouled by pollutants or toxins, and the river runs free without the dams and diversions that have devastated so many salmon runs elsewhere in the world. Here in Alaska, there are hundreds, or in fact, actually thousands of rivers like the Costa. We see the beauty of these rivers twisting down their trackless valleys, tumbling through riffles and rapids. We see the deep pools where migrating salmon gather and rest, the overhanging banks and the eddies that are made by fallen logs where young salmon can feed and shelter. We see the forests that shade the water and keep it cold as it must be for salmon. And we see the clean, oxygen-rich stream gravels where salmon eggs incubate and the hatchlings grow. We also come to understand that the purity and health of the water becomes the purity and health of the salmon. And when we eat the salmon, they pass along their purity and health to us. Almost everywhere along these northern coasts, we can witness this great convergence. Everything intricately braided together. The whole complex of mountains and flatlands, lakes and rivers, trees and meadows, birds and bears and fish. Above all, here on the Costa River, on the coast of Alaska, we can recognize that salmon come from much more than just the river, because it takes a watershed, an entire, pure, unspoiled, unbroken watershed to raise a salmon.